in the records here, at least 15, 20 high school / college athletes who were also in on this, some of whom were hey, sign me up, I want, and parents involved in this. And I mean, now you're adding another level of ugliness with parents and doctors concocting together to dope up child athletes. And I mean, but some of these kids don't know what they're taking, don't even know. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different layers to that, man. And it's like, wow. But a 2-year investigation comes to a close here. And I'm curious when this whole thing is done and shakes out, maybe I wonder if there's more even other shoes to drop. And if so, I just wonder if right now, because this happened this morning? It's noon Eastern here. This 6 a.m. Eastern was when the arrest started happening. So it's less than, a little over 6 hours here. And makes you wonder if there's other people sitting at the house right now. They're making calls. They're going, hey, man, did you hear what happened? Oh, man, you think they're going to find out? I just wonder. And you'll find out soon enough, man. If some of these names leaked way before any of this stuff got out there. And you guys, we talked about the crazy stories with baseball. They're out there trying. They were by hook or crook. They were going to catch A-Rod. They're out there paying for documents. So like, listen, I don't care where that file came from. We're going to pretend we found it on the ground. Here's $150,000, but they were going to get A-Rod by hook or by crook. But if documents got out like that, you got to wonder how much stuff is still in here. Operation Strikeout, they called it. And, it'll be interesting to see what the further fallout is of this. And like I said, who else's names are attached to that. We could talk more about this again another day. I've got to take a break. Man, first segment, blowing by. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com. My man coming up next because the Indians, their performance has been enhanced the last few days, baby. Ever since the trade deadline, it's like, hey, you guys want to walk? That's cool, but we're going to keep winning. And you guys, hey, plenty of room on the bandwagon here. Listen, like I said, it's the Rangers. It's the Reds now. You keep it in perspective, but you keep it in momentum. The Indians have it behind them, and we're going to talk about it. Who else did they have? Kluber Lang, baby. Corey Kluber out there last night doing his thing, which means, of course, we've got another edition of Kluber Stats coming your way here. All of that, Jeff Gorman, Indians 101. We're talking some Tribe, baby, when we come back. The Sports Fix has just begun. Feel the power, baby. You can feel it. We're going to be right back after this break.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
what you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
We'll be right back.
Before we go to the break, guys, I want to talk to you just a second about our friends at GV Art and Design. Baseballs here once again. Cleveland, of course, excited, and GV Artwork teaming up with the Indians, and they're both going to knock it out of the park this season. And listen to some of the new designs they've got for Cleveland baseball fans everywhere. They've dug out an old classic, and they're bringing the heat with the new Wild Thing, Give 'em the Heater Ricky design. GV Artwork is teaming up with Cleveland fan favorite Michael Brantley and created a custom Dr. Smooth t-shirt. Plus, don't forget, they've got the Cleveland That I Glove collection, new tribal and Cleveland That I Love designs for women, and so much more. You can get GV Artwork designs on the website, gvartwork.com. And don't forget to use the sales code FIX10, that's FIX10, and you'll save 10% on your purchase. Or you can check out their new store in Lakewood on Detroit Avenue. Check them out in the Indians team shops and so much more. Cleveland That we all love, GV Art and Design. It's not just a shirt, it's a statement.
Hello, Cleveland. This is WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, and you are listening to the Sports Fix. Yeah.
The engines are cranking and purring, and that can only mean one thing. Bike nights are back at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Rev up your hogs and head on down to Harry Buffalo North Olmsted every Monday night. Enjoy $3 drinks and beers, $5 pizzas, and crazy wing specials for all bikers, all on their open patio. Woo-hoo! Hot bikes, good friends, and great times are waiting for you. 4824 Great Northern Boulevard, right outside Great Northern Mall. Monday bike nights at Harry Buffalo, the proud sponsor of the Sports Fix. Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history? In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
You're listening to The Sports Fix.
Indian fever. Catching fire with everyone. Indian fever. You can be part of the fun. You're the winner at every game. That's when the excitement begins. So catch Indian fever. Be a believer with the Cleveland Indians.
I just had to let that play a little bit. So I bet you enjoy hearing that a little bit today. I know some of you thought we were done with it for the season, but no. Indians, I tell you, just when you think them out, they suck you back in. And Corey Kluber just kept it rolling last night. Welcome back into the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you as we roll on with the show. Welcome back in. First segment, I'm telling you guys, all kinds of stuff going on behind the scenes. Dealt with it like a champ. Hopefully, nobody even skipped a beat, man. Rolled on. Now we're back at it. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com getting ready to be with us here in just a moment, which means you have to keep the conversation going on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Tweet with us at The Sports Fix, CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. And as I said, I'm going to talk some tribe here. You can hear it in the background and go into the phone lines here. Going to pull up my man Jeff Gorman. For those of you that didn't see the game or didn't see what happened last night behind Corey Kluber, unfortunately, he didn't go all the way, which is a bit surprising the way he's been going here. I'm telling you, man, Corey Kluber continues to just roll on and on here. Got a ton of stats to put his stuff in perspective, but another 7 1/3, and the Indians roll. 7-1 victory last night. Lonnie Chisenhall got untracked a bit with a home run. Brantley got going. Yanni Gomes. Michael Brantley, by the way, multi-hit game. He has 3 different streaks this year with 5 in a row of multi-hit games. The first player to do that in Major League Baseball since Ichiro back in 2009. Since the beginning of July, Brantley's hitting .347 with 18 RBIs, continuing to power the Indians' offense here. And it was a great way to start the homestand, as we talked about yesterday, start the series with the Reds and wrap up the homestand here before you head for the other half against Cincinnati. Yes, man, you got Kluber out there, take care of business, and indeed they did. We'll get into talking about Kluber and some of his stats. Let me get joined by my man, Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com. Jeff, how you doing, baby?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
There you go. I knew you were going to start that way. How you doing, my man? How you feeling today?
I'm doing great. Everything's going very well. The Indians are starting to get hot at the right time. And it's amazing how, just having a true ace, and we can call him, at least for this year, we can call him a true ace. It's amazing how having someone like Corey Kluber can just set everything up from, the hitters to the bullpen to the rest of the rotation. And when you start a week like you did yesterday, it just really gives you a lot of optimism for what's to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about those last 2 performances back-to-back, follows it up here with this one. His current winning streak up to 5 games. I'll tell you what, I mean, you could just go on and on with the superlatives of what he did. He walks Jack Hanahan. He went nearly 23 innings before the last time you could say that he walked somebody. That is how locked in he's been. July 19th against the Tigers, the last time he walked somebody. 7 Ks, 2 walks yesterday. Now makes his strikeout to walk ratio of the season 5.15 strikeouts for every walk that Corey Kluber allows. I mean, just amazing. And we continue to say this, like each time we just add more to the legend, the growing legend of Kluber Lang.
And it's beautiful because when you see stats like that, when you see that he's not just doing well, he's not just getting batters out. He's got this control, and and you can just see when you watch him, how he's putting the ball where he wants to. He's having the ball tail away from hitters, and they're waving at it, and they're not getting up to it. So he knows where the ball's going, and the other team is just powerless to stop it. So it gives you confidence because when he's pitching that well and he's being able to spot the ball where he wants to, it shows that it's not a fluke. It's not that he's just scraping by. He's not giving up, long flyouts. He's really controlling things, and it gives you an indication that, he is going to probably be able to keep this up down the stretch. And that's what we needed last year, is have a starter really get into the zone and really carry this team like Ubaldo did last year. Of course, he started a little bit later than Kluber is this year, but if Kluber can continue this kind of performance or even close to this kind of performance down the stretch, then I think we've got a chance, and that's what really can get a lot of us excited, I think.
I mean, especially when you look at the way Bauer has continued to each start improve upon the previous one. He's lengthening himself out. He keeps, it seems like every other start we're talking about, he's gone the longest he's gone yet. And then he adds a little bit more to that, continuing to stretch himself out. I think, if we're seriously, honestly talking about chasing this thing down, the X factor here is going to be Salazar, because you need one more guy that's going to be considered. I mean, you need 5, obviously, but you need to know that your top 2 or 3 guys are going to be there for you night in and night out and not fray this bullpen out, especially with the ups and downs of the other guys that are going to be at the back end of that. And I think Salazar, that could be the key, and I've been very encouraged with what we've seen from him. But with Kluber, I mean, when you're hot, like yesterday, he keeps that thing rolling and allows you to extend winning streaks. And when you're not, he allows you not to get into a slump, because you know that he's given you more than just an opportunity to win every time he comes up, and that's going to be important going down the stretch. But Salazar is the key. You get those 3, and then you can anchor that rotation a bit, and then hopefully just get an acceptable performance out of 4 and 5, and that's going to go a long way. But I mean, just look at Kluber. I mean, yeah, okay, the run scores yesterday, 17 scoreless he had up until that point, 25 in a row without an earned run up until that point. His last, I'm going to get you some of my Kluber stats here. His last 4 starts, 34 innings, he's given up 3 earned runs, which is a .79 ERA. In his last 10 starts, he's only given up 13 earned runs, a 1.5 ERA. Wow. I mean, I'm telling you, man, Corey Kluber rolling, and he's becoming a horse as far as eating up innings. His last 6 starts, he's averaging 8 1/3 on every start. I mean, that's as close to a complete game average as you can get, pretty much, without being there. And he continues to roll on. He had faced 79 batters in a row without issuing a walk, as we mentioned before he walked Hanahan there. Just, you name it. You want more, I can give it to you. And to me, at the end of the day, one of the most important statistics above his statistics, which is his strikeouts, 3rd in the American League, above all of that, the fact that his wins above replacement is nearly 5. It is the 2nd best in the American League. And what that means is, if you took this guy off of the team, what's the difference in wins between him and the next guy that would fill his spot? That is the 2nd largest. Only King Felix is higher with 5.5. The difference between him and number 2 of who would replace him, Corey Kluber. That shows you that right there with Michael Brantley on the offensive side of the ball, that's your MVP of the season, because that's more of a think of the difference. When Justin Masterson was traded, I believe his wins above replacement was 1. I believe, and that's a negligible difference. I mean, that means just about anybody can be this guy because there's only going to be one win up or down difference. You know what I mean? You're talking about 5-game difference. And again, when you look at it in perspective, second highest in the American League. I mean, clearly, you can't say enough about what he's done. Can he continue to get better down the stretch? Because they're going to rely on him, no doubt, like you said.
Yes, he's certainly going to be the workhorse, and that's what it's going to come down to. When you talk about the wild card, you talk about 2 wild card spots being up for grabs, it's going to come down to the second half of